That's right, earthquakes can't be predicted, which makes them one of the most destructive and deadliest natural disasters. Now, the fault lines closest to Chapman are between 10 and 20 miles from campus, but that doesn't mean we aren't at risk for damage in the next big quake. I'm at Hart Park, which is about a mile from campus, and is part of a large stretch of liquefaction zones in the Orange County and LA Basin area. Now, what that means is the shaking from the earthquake can cause the land to act like quicksand, so there's a risk for the ground to break, not just shake. Seismologists have said that California is due and possibly overdue for the next big one. While they have figured out where it will happen, they can't really determine exactly when it will be, so that's been left up to artificial intelligence to figure out. Feds have spent upwards of $38 million on an app called Shake Alert, which will give people advance notice of when an earthquake will hit, so they have a few seconds to run for cover and brace themselves before it happens. Most Americans are in favor of passing common sense gun laws, but there's no easy way to find a consensus for what this actually means. So far, no legislation has been passed, leaving public venues scrambling to prepare for an attack that could come at any time, from anywhere. On Tuesday, the Los Angeles Angels opted out of their stadium lease with the city of Anaheim, opening up the possibility for a new stadium to be built in Orange County. Now, the city's mayor and the team have been in talks since 2013, trying to strike a new deal to pay for basic renovations to the 52-year-old city-owned stadium, which seems to be one of the reasons for the termination. Now, the renovations that are really basic infrastructure are estimated to cost around $150 to $200 million for improvements on plumbing, electrical wiring, and air conditioning. The ballpark is the fourth oldest ballpark in Major League Baseball, and the last time it's had a facelift was back in 1998. The team's move may also have a major impact on the city of Anaheim itself. Besides Disneyland and the Honda Center, where the Anaheim Ducks play, this is one of the major tourist attractions for people coming here. But we'll have to wait until the November midterm elections, when a new mayor and new city council members will be elected, and go into talks again with the team to see if they can figure out a new strategy. Pixie dust isn't the only thing floating around Disney parks these days. A Wall Street Journal report has confirmed that people are scattering their loved ones' ashes in park premises. Now, custodians say that this happens often enough that they've come up with a code word to disguise the messy truth from park goers. And they aren't just scattering the ashes on flower beds, they're actually doing so on popular rides, including Pirates of the Caribbean and It's a Small World. Custodians say that the most popular ride, though, is a haunted mansion. Now, Disney officials have responded to the issue and say that it is illegal to scatter human ashes on the premises, and anyone caught doing so will be escorted off the property. So if you're planning on completing your family member's circle of life in Animal Kingdom or any Disney park, you might want to think again. Getting the flu shot still remains a controversial topic among many individuals, with only about 5 to 20% of people getting the shot each year. Some people opt for more natural methods like healthy eating and exercise to boost their immune system. But if you're still one of the percentage of people that does opt to get the flu shot, you can head here to Chapman Student Health Center during regular business hours to get your shot for free. As many as 2/3 of the 220 working horses in the park will be retired permanently. The remaining ones will live in new stables being built here in Central Park.
I've been working ridiculously, like non-stop. I work on this movie every single day for the last 5 years.
The film, titled When Jeff Tried to Save the World, was written, produced, and directed by Chapman alum Kendall Goldberg. The story follows Jeff, the manager of a rundown bowling alley, who does everything he can to save it after discovering the owner's plans to sell the property.
He's afraid of what's ahead without this big central piece of his life still there.
The film's main actor, Jeff, is played by none other than Napoleon Dynamite's John Heder. It's kind of a little bit dramatic, like what he's trying to salvage here, and he's more of a funny actor.
There's definitely some funny, heartfelt moments in it, but yeah, like you said, he's known for playing this comedic actor, usually these character roles in these comedies, and this is different. This is different, and he plays probably the most dramatic role of the film.
Goldberg got the idea at the end of her freshman year, with the end goal always having been to make it into a feature-length film.
It was always meant to be a feature. I did not want to make it short, did not want to make it short, because I was already making them here.
But that was easier said than done.
Then we sort of took a step back when we realized we needed to find the financing. It's such a high-risk investment. Any movie in independent film is like high risk, but this is like the highest risk because it's a first-time feature filmmaker. I'm a young and like fresh out of school, and like no one really wants to write me a check for what I want the amount to be.
The project took a total of 5 years to complete, And today, less than 1 year after graduating, Goldberg is back at Chapman to screen and talk about her film, along with two of the film's actors, Jon Heder and Steve Burtt.
I always knew as soon as I had a movie that I could come bring here I wanted to, because I had a great experience at Chapman, and I credit the people that I met while I was here, both directly and indirectly because of the school. I credit part of that to the reason I was able to make the film.
Amy Delgado, Chapman News. For generations, carriage drivers gave tourists and even some residents rides on horse-drawn carriages through Central Park. Those days will soon be coming to an end for some drivers. Mayor Bill de Blasio is keeping a campaign promise he made when being sworn in 2 years ago by negotiating a deal with the carriage drivers union to scale back rides by removing them from city streets and restricting them to the green space of Central Park. As many as 2/3 of the 220 working horses in the park will be retired permanently. The remaining ones will live in new stables being built here in Central Park. City planners hope to open the new stables in 2018, but there is still no word on what will happen to the retired horses and their drivers. The deal does not state that there will be any compensation for carriage drivers who lose their jobs. From Manhattan, I'm Amy Delgado, Chapman News. And firefighters aren't the only ones that are risking their lives to protect others. There are more than 1.3 million U.S. troops stationed around the world, and every year on Veterans Day we give thanks to those who have served our country. Dominique Grund has more on how 2 Orange County residents are giving back. And if you've ever taken a stroll through the Orange Circle, you've seen that it is full of popular restaurants, bars, and shops. But one shop in particular is benefiting the community in more than one way. Kim Becker has more.